Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon for our webinar about all things Python. I'm Jane Dickinson. I am the Digital Skills Lead here at the Open University, and I am the co-lead for the Click Start with the Open University programme. So fabulous to see you all here today. As you'll know, the Click Start with the Open University programme is part of a broader initiative which has been developed by the Institute of Coding and funded by Nominet. So this afternoon, I am joined by Greg Chuhai and Pavel Sal from the Python Institute, and we'll be talking over the next hour or so about the benefits and opportunities that Python coding can bring. So the Python Institute are a non-profit project set up, run and managed by the Open Education and Development Group, and they promote the Python programming language. They also have a remit to train a new generation of Python programmers and also to support us all in our careers in programming in Python and, of course, related technologies. So on the Clickstart programme, you can study towards the Python PCEP programmer certification. This introductory course gives you an opportunity to dive into Python, which is a very versatile and beginner-friendly language. And it also means that there is no prior knowledge required for you to get started. So perfect if you're just curious to find out more and about how programming can help you in your life and in your career. So without any further ado, Greg and Pavel, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jane. Thank you for this wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Chuhai, and with me is Pavel Sal. And it's great to be here with you today. And we're going to tell you a couple of words about Python today, about the course, about the certification, about the career opportunities that are out there for you. And at the end of the session, Pavel will also show you around some of the ways how he uses Python on a daily basis and present a couple of live demos of what you can actually do with Python, showing you the power of Python. Pavel will be changing the slides for us. So Pavel, next slide, please. And I'm a product designer, and for many years I've been helping people around the world learn Python in a way that's fun, in a way that's simple, and hopefully useful. I'm one of the co-founders of the Python Institute. I'm also a member of the Python Software Foundation. And a big part of what I do on a day-to-day basis is creating courses, certification, and software tools that are designed to help learners gain practical skills and the kind of skills that employers really need. So we're working closely with, and I'm working closely with teachers, with developers, industry experts, and especially with you, learners, students, well, to make sure that Python stays relevant and valuable in the kind of the type of courses, type of coursework and certification programs we develop. They're very much aligned to what you need to learn, to what you need to know, to what you need to use. So as I said, today I'm with Pavel, my dear friend. During the rehearsal, I said, my dear enemy, but no, this is not true. My dear friend, but also, or maybe most of all, an amazing software developer who knows Python inside out. So Pavel also plays a big part in developing our learning materials, our learning experiences. But Pavel, I'll let you introduce yourself properly. So please say a few words about yourself.
Thank you, Greg. Hello once again. I'm Pavel Żal, 25 years in IT business. So far, I started my journey with Java and C++. Then I learned by practice Python. So I think I've got this strong basis to compare Python and other programming languages to give you a solid and fair comparison between those languages. For the last 15 years, I've been also taking tasks of being an instructor. And as Greg mentioned, I contributed to a few courses prepared by Python Institute covering Python. Greg.
Thank you, Pavel. Yeah, Pavel is a humble person, and but he has extraordinary knowledge. He's a seasoned professional, and we're extremely happy. We're very happy that Pavel is part of the Python Institute team. So together, we're here to share some stories for you, some tips, some real life examples. We're going to show you why choosing Python and especially the course that you're doing is a smart move, for your future. And we also talk about how certification can support you, can support your career, and well, what are the next steps that you might consider doing. Let me quickly, thank you, Pavel, for changing the slide, quickly share a few words about the Python Institute. So as Jane said, we're a nonprofit project run by OpenEDG. Our mission is pretty simple. So we want to help people everywhere around there learn Python in a way that's fun, in a way that's practical, connected to real world needs. And we don't just create courses, we actively work with companies, we work with schools, experts to understand what kind of skills are in demand. And we constantly monitor the industry. We perform JTAs, job task analyses, training needs assessments, and market research. So to make sure that our curricula and certification programs are always they always match real world demands. So this way, I hope you can feel sure that what you're learning today will help you tomorrow. I hope. And whether you're looking for your first job or whether you're here to change your career or level up your skills or maybe just learning Python for fun, we hope that this course will help you and you learn a lot of interesting things there. So Pavel, please change the slide to where we show a few logos. Um, so we work with very many organizations worldwide, and we're a proud contributing sponsor of the Python Software Foundation. We're member of the some organizations or associations that have to do with test quality. So ATP is one of them. We collaborate very closely with certification providers, Pearson, Certiport. We also have had a wonderful, and we still have long-term wonderful relationship with Cisco and Cisco Networking Academy. So big greetings to all the great Cisco folks out there. And of course, we're especially excited about our collaboration with the Open University and Click Start. So thank you for this opportunity, and we're happy to be helping you, to be helping learners build practical Python skills. And we hope that this is going to be enjoyable for you and most of all, effective. So what we'll cover today is, we'll tell you why Python is actually a good choice, why it's a great choice. And just like I said before, we'll share some real world stories with you and give you some of the practical examples to show you why it is a great choice. We say a few words about certification, how it can open some of the opportunities for you. Pavel will tell you a little bit about how he started his adventure with Python, and we'll help you understand how you can begin your own journey with Python, how you can how you can start, what kind of obstacles will be there, but how can you face them? So we'll try to give you some tips and hints. And finally, Pavel will show you a project that he's worked on. So he'll demonstrate Python in action, and we'll see a short live demo. And of course, at the end, the QA session. So you're more than welcome to ask any questions you like, and we'll try to answer as many of them as possible. So before we move on to why Python, we wanted to also say a few words about certification. So right now, you are on one of our most popular certification paths, which is general purpose programming. And the course you're taking, it aligns perfectly with the PCEP certification. So this is a fantastic starting point to build your confidence, to build your skills, and start from there. Yeah, thank you, Pavel. Wow, that's a great tool. So when you mastered the basics, when you complete the course, so you have several options waiting for you out there. So you could specialize in networking, network administration. So I know that Cisco Networking Academy certifications and correct me if I'm wrong, Jane, courses are also part of the program. But
Right.
other options are, yeah, thank you. You can also dive in data analytics. So this is one of the most popular programs and one of the most popular fields where you can use Python fields available for you. And also wanted to show you one more path, which is software testing and test automation. That's another one that's growing in popularity. And it was designed and developed by Pavel with a little bit of help from me as well. So whichever path you choose, in general, PCEP is the perfect place to start. And Python is the best starting point of them all, which we'll try to prove in a minute. So I don't know, a quick announcement. Jane, we have some good news. You want to share them now or later, or I just...
Well, we can share it now. Let's share it now. So yeah, so Python Institute, everybody, are going to kindly donate some bundles to our top performers in the final exam. So those of you who perhaps aren't in there yet, you'll see that PCEP is broken up into kind of four sections. And then once you've completed all of those, and you can take the end of module exams in each of those, and then you take the final exam. So there will be some free bundles, and these bundles will contain a practice exam, they will contain a certification voucher, and they'll also contain a second shot should you need it. Hopefully you won't, but certification is prized, and if it was easy, it wouldn't have the integrity it has. So a second shot is always really helpful. Over and above that, the Open University, as part of our Clickstart program, we will be purchasing some bundles to offer as prizes. So we'll be entering everybody who achieves a score of 75 or greater in the final exam into regular prize draws, so that you have an opportunity to win one of those bundles. Should in the unfortunate circumstances you're not a winner, not a lucky winner, we'll also be providing a route for you to be able to buy the bundle at a really good discount rate as well. So we're just working through all of that right now. So stay tuned to the newsletter and the platform for further updates. But exciting, and thank you, Python Institute, for enabling us to provide these routes to certification at a really good price for everybody on the program. Thank you.
Absolutely, Jane. So we had a wonderful partnership history. Python Institute Open University, and we really love you guys, and we're always there to help you in any way we can. So thank you. Pavel, maybe we can move on to the slide about the certification benefits, because some of you might wonder whether there's any value behind the certification. So as you can probably imagine, yes, there is. Here are the general benefits that learners mention they experience after earning their certifications. So I don't know if you can see that. It is taken from different reports, report from Pearson VUE, certification report. There's a report by Global Knowledge. There's even a report from Cape Florida, USA. Basically, they all, the things you see here right now basically reflect positive opinions about certifications and the kind of effect they have on the holders. So, for example, 90% of the respondents, they say that they feel more confident about their skills when they become certified, and many say they're more determined professionally to achieve more goals. And like third, if you can see that, nearly a third even report they're getting a raise or they're offered better job opportunities. But certification can also benefit students. So if there are students among us, what students say is that they typically earn higher grades and graduate with better results when they become certified. And if we have any employers here today with us as well, guess what? Certification can help you also in your jobs. For example, you can quickly spot motivated and skilled talent, which will eventually make your jobs easier. And all the recruiters and the majority of managers, they say that certification or certified individuals, they literally translate to added value to the company. So and also wanted to clash that with one of the surveys that we actually ran a couple of years ago. So this is the next slide. So where we're going to show you a few responses from the people who got PCEP and PCAP certified. PCAP is a higher level, but all these percentages, this is related to PCEP certification holders. So we ran a survey, 12,000 people who got certified responded, and what they say is that there is value in earning PCEP certification. So, for example, 78% said that it significantly boosted their confidence and professional competence. 75% believe certification made them more valuable in the job market. 71% reported increased job satisfaction. And like a third of them said certification directly enhanced their CV or resume. You can see that more than 90% of people would recommend taking the PCEP exam. So if you're hesitating, don't. Clearly, certification is making real impact and, it's positive impact on people's careers. So why Python? And this is the next slide. Well, besides all the benefits we just talked about, like improved job opportunities, career growth, higher earning potential, well, let me tell you that Python is one of the best languages you could start with. And why? So you must have heard that it's easy to learn and it's beginner friendly. This is true, but don't let that fool you. Why? Because Python is also incredibly powerful. And when I say it's powerful, Pavel will actually show you more examples. I mean, you can do almost anything. You can do almost everything, from automating simple tasks to running complex AI solutions to analyzing data sets, building websites, securing networks, you name it. So it gives you a tool to create amazing things. Why else should you learn Python? Well, there's huge community and a vast number of resources out there, endless resources available for you. And this is probably one of the biggest strengths of Python. It's community and the number of resources, community-built resources. So no matter whether you're trying to learn, there's always someone out there that will help you, and you'll never feel stuck with anything. Pablo, you wanted to say about proof of concept thing and a little bit about programming paradigms. So I'll let you step in now.
Thank you, Greg. So whenever you think about investing time in studying Python, I can say that from my perspective, it is time that you invest in a very good language, because when you change when you change to a different language, all paradigms that you have learned, all concepts that you have learned, will be still valid in different languages. So whenever we talk about object-oriented programming, whenever we talk about functional approach, with very small changes, mostly related to syntax, you will be able to apply it to code expressed in a different language. So once you have invested your time, it will benefit you. You'll take benefits from it every time. From my perspective, Python is also very good for preparing any proof of concepts because of its syntax. When you write code in Python, you focus on solving a problem from your domain rather than on technicalities, rather than on boilerplate code. So that is why it is so popular among scientists, because they love to use a tool that allows them to check their ideas quickly and quickly deliver outcomes, results. So any proof of concept you would like to test, please consider Python. Any prototype you would like to prepare, also consider Python, and this is where Python works very well. Of course, someone can say that Python is not as performant as other languages are, but in terms of delivering a proof of concept, it is very important to deliver it fast. You become present on a market with a proof of concept, people can test it, and if you say, okay, it was a very good idea to develop it in Python, and it works fine, then you can consider developing this program in different language. Of course, it will take more time, but you will benefit from this knowledge that your idea works fine. Grzegorz, should I add anything, or you would like to take on next slide?
I think it's perfect what you just said. I would just add that because here we're going to present some of the fields where Python is present. It's actually everywhere, right? So you can see like data science, machine learning, cybersecurity, even web development, game development, robotics, automation, blockchain and cryptocurrency development, NLP, education research, education, like take the Open University, for example. But even though it's present, it's everywhere. And we just said that it's a great tool to start with. And what Pavel just said about the proof of concept, it doesn't mean that you end up using it as the ultimate technology for something that you're developing at the moment, but you can use for the proof of concept, or quickly testing ideas, building the prototypes. So you can basically use it to turn your ideas into something real and practical fast, even though it means that at the end of the day, you're going to switch to different technology that will let you, that will be faster, that will be more dynamic, that will be more efficient. So Python leads the way here. And so you can see like the multiple industry, multiple fields, and literally Python is everywhere. It's all around us. And but even if you're not working in any of these industries, or you don't plan to work in any of these industries, chances are that you still need to collaborate with someone who does, where Python comes in handy. And even if you don't, which is pretty rare, I would say, but even then, Python can help you like automate everyday tasks, or like bring your do-it-yourself hobby projects to life. So who knows, like maybe even into a business. And some of you probably know that even Python itself, it started as a hobby project. So back in the 80s, 1980s, Guido van Rossum, so the guy behind Python, he was looking for something like fun to do over holidays. At least this is what the legend has it. And he wanted to create something simple, like an easy to read programming language. So during his Christmas break in 1989, as far as I remember, he started working on Python. So why am I saying this? Is that DIY hobby project. So what began as a personal project for him turned into one of the most powerful, widely used programming languages, one of the most powerful tools out there in the world today. So who knows? That small Python script automation tool that you built today could be, start up something huge. And so as you can see, there's no running away from Python, I hope. Okay, Pavel, the next slide.
If I can add something,
yeah.
Sorry for that.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say that we observe a huge increase in popularity of Python in machine learning and artificial intelligence fields. Thanks to the fact that I mentioned that proof of concepts are very popular amongst Python developers, or where this is where Python is being used. So whenever you do any project in artificial intelligence, it works very well with Python, because you can check your idea and then switch to another. So combining Python's this special property of Python it was checked and worked very well with artificial intelligence. Grzegorz, I will switch to the next slide.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, and here, just like I forgot about this slide, just a few real-world examples of how Python is used. So you can see Google, there's Python for search algorithms. There's Netflix, Spotify. They use it to for its recommendations engine. So if you know how they know, if you want to know how they know which songs you'd like to listen to, or which movies you'd like to watch, well, there's some. There's Python most probably behind it. So these are just a few examples of how Python is used. And as I mentioned, it's literally everywhere. Take a look at the end of the list. The Open University, they use Python as well. They teach you and help you make all these wonderful things, and giving you the right tool. So, and we wanted to motivate you a bit. And Pavel, that's the next slide, I believe. Because path, or your Python journey, let's say it starts right now. And you can believe me that every expert out there was once a beginner. And even Pavel was once at the beginning of the road, learning these things from scratch. He learned, practice, and he grew skills day by day. And we wanted to give you some advice and make you aware that there will be many obstacles on the way as you learn, but it's important for you to keep going, and you're going to succeed. And Pavel, maybe you can say a couple of words about how you started, and basically we'll try to find any comparisons to to all these some of the things we have below that, and try to give some advice to all those who are looking to begin with Python.
Of course. So my story is that I studied both Java and C++ at the university. And when I ended my journey with university, I started learning Python, but I wanted to switch from studying by the book and so on. And I decided to start learning by doing. So I wanted to start with a very simple project, see how Python works, what can I achieve, what are the differences between Python and other languages, and it appeared that there weren't many, and I really loved this language because it allowed me to start doing some professional tasks in quite short time. I started my journey with automating some repetitive tasks. Initially, it was network scanning. I wanted to find out what are the hosts in my network. At that time, I worked for a big company, and we wanted to know whether users are bringing own devices and switching to our network. So first task was to scan network. So you see, it was a wonderful mixture for me, wonderful synergy. I was learning language, I was earning money because of doing a task. Then I started some other projects, like I was keen on getting information from web pages. Today I will show you a very quick example. I think it would consist less than 20 lines of code where you can scrap data from internet and use it in your other projects rather than copying from web page, pasting it to Excel or Word. I can have this raw data and use it in somewhere else. Funny thing, when I became let's say advanced or semi-advanced in Python, I started taking part in some contests or competitions, and having Python, I won a few of them. I got a few prizes because my advantage was that I could prototype solution quicker than my friends using other languages. So having this opportunity to solve real world problems built my confidence, and I benefit till today. I really like the last three bullets from a, let's say, green list. My story, my experience, my history shows that the best way to learn is by doing and by practicing. I made hundreds, maybe thousands of mistakes while I was coding. Of course, now we have some tools that help us, but still, when you spot a mistake, when you spend a second or two, you learn what syntax or which constructions to avoid. So it is not lost time. It is a natural path, a natural part of our growth. So don't worry if you see an error message. Maybe you can try to deduct something from this error message. Maybe it will help you to become professional sooner than later. Grzegorz, am I allowed to change a slide?
Absolutely allowed to do it.
Okay, something from current activity. I cannot share many details, many names, but please believe me. Currently, Python in my career helps people to live a better lives. I'm working in a project where we are aggregating data from medical devices. So we deliver solution to municipalities that will know what is happening at their care takers' homes or apartments. Why Python? We have different operators providing different services. One operator delivers cameras, some other deliver systems that connect to our systems, and those systems support medication dispensers, so like devices that release envelopes with pills every day. There are other devices like sensors, alarms, and so on, so on. Every operator talks different protocol. They deliver data in different ways and different formats. And with Python, we have created a solution that is in the center. It is a response center that aggregates data from different sources, from different protocols, aligns them into one single format of events, and those events are pushed to dashboards where some operators, other operators, municipality operators, caregivers can monitor their patients. With some rules, we can trigger alarms to emergency stuff. So they can, in case we see there's a problem, someone fall, someone is not taking pills, and so on. Emergency can step in and help those caretakers, or we can send the data directly to caregivers. Imagine that your doctor gets your blood pressure, oxygen saturation results every day. They don't have to visit you. They don't have to spend money on visiting you, but they can step in only when there is a problem with your body. I think this is in a very short system that I'm working currently on. It is a very interesting thing. Allows me to talk to many people, allows me to dive into different protocols. But with Python, everything becomes easy for people. And indeed, Python helps people to live a better life. Saying that, I have prepared 3 live demos for you, showing that in Python you can gain results in less than 20 lines of code. Don't worry, not all those 20 lines will be described. Half of them is just a boilerplate code. We have to do this like in many languages, but still less than Java or in C++. First one, my favorite, because I started my journey with, it is a tool that will scrap a web page and get codes for currencies. Then today we mentioned about AI, so I will show you how with a few lines of code we can talk to OpenAI API and ask questions. I've got one question prepared, but of course we will try to use another one. And last one, from a totally different area of my interest, I will show you how with Python I can model a 3-dimensional scene. Then we will import this scene or that figure into Blender. I suppose many of you have heard or already used this software. And this shows how it is easy to use Python to automate or to help your everyday tasks. Okay, let me stop this presentation. I would like to switch to, sorry for that, to my IDE, my IDE of choice. You see 20 lines of code, even less if we subtract those empty lines. All it does, it spawns one request to this web page. I will open it in this very moment. This web page contains currency codes. So you see country, you know how the currency is named, and you see an acronym. For some reasons, like accounting software, you may want to have those codes imported automatically rather than rewritten by hand. And with Python, all I have to do, just call once this web page, fetch data, so I read that data, and then transform just to fetch, extract symbols or names. Let me run it, and in output, we should see a list of different currencies. Let me check what is still a currency of United Kingdom. Oh, Nothing has changed so far. It's GBP, sorry, pound sterling. In States, still USD, and so on. So as you have seen, it's so easy to get that data from internet, and now it is ready to be pushed to some other software. As promised, simple AI chat with, once again, less than 20 lines of code. I will ask AI for a recipe for an apple pie, and I will run it a few times, so you'll see every time an answer changes, because I think it is a nice feature of of ChatGPT, but it answers each time. It answers with different response, so you will see different recipes. At least it should be so. So I pressed run. Of course, now it connects to servers. Takes a minute or two. But what do we have here? An apple pie recipe. It starts with information about apples. We need to have 6 to 7 medium-sized apples. Preheat the oven to this temperature. Let me run it once again. Let's see what we'll get this time. Looks quite similar. Let me run it once again. It has changed. As you can see, it does not start with information about apples. Here are apples at this place. I think temperatures are the same. Okay, so that was an example how we can ask a question with a single prompt to get a response from ChatGPT. I selected this model. It doesn't matter. I just want to show you how simple it is. Let me ask a question. Let's ask ChatGPT who was the author of Python programming languages. I think who is. Greg already mentioned this. Let's see what ChatGPT thinks about this. And indeed, as Greg mentioned, Guido invented or created Python in the year of 1989. Let me ask.
You heard me say this.
You said so. Oh, and now is for the same prompt, for the same question, we got a different, a different answer, but still correct. Okay, guys, we are running out of time, but I promised you to deliver one more example. This example is about creating a three-dimensional scene. We will create something, then you can import it to a Blender, and then use it in your movie, maybe push this project to 3D printer, and so on. What I would like to do is just to create an ice cream cone with some scoops. And I will show you how simple it is. Now we have, when I run my code here, we've got an empty three-dimensional space. I would like to add a cone. Oh. Sorry for that. So what we do, we just create a scene, we create a cone, and we add a cone to a scene. Sounds reasonable. It is readable, so you will focus your time on solving a problem, not working on syntax or programming language. What is a great feature of Python? When I run a code, you can see a cone has been created. Now let's use a feature of any programming language, but you can use a loop to add scoops. And scoops are just spheres, and we'll add, let's say, 3 spheres, and they will be added exactly in those coordinates that I want to. If I was modeling this in a 3D tool like AutoCAD or anything like that, and I would manually move spheres and so on, the precision would be on me whether I move it closely or not. With algorithmic approach, I can exactly say what are the coordinates for each of figures or elements. Okay, I want to add 3 scopes of this radius, and let's see what is the outcome. As you remember, we had seen with 1 element. Now let me run my code. Okay, so quickly, with just 4 lines of code, we added 3 spheres. Of course, I can change it. We can have more, let's say 7. Let me run it. As you can see, with just a few seconds, I got more. Now we can imagine how much time you will need to do the same using in CAD. So I can add hundreds and so on. So why I added those 7 scoops? This is a foundation for some animation, like let's say scoops will fall down and land on ice cone, ice cream cone. Now let's use this file which was saved here, and let's import it to Blender. I have created this one-liner. I can do this with code. I can issue the same command with command line. So I'm using OpenSCAD application you have already seen to convert from this file to STL format. Let's see what it generates. Okay, so in 10 seconds we got a file created. Here it is. Let me import it into Blender, and we should expect a cone and 7 spheres. Let me import. As you can see, now we have our object created in object available in Blender. So why am I showing this? Imagine that you were asked to create a scene, three-dimensional scene with multiple figures, and you wanted to have all those figures created in a repeatable manner, placed at exactly defined positions. So very good moment is now to use Python. So you will create those figures separately and then import them and place them in this in this scene. So now it could be sent to the 3D printer and so on. This concludes my presentation regarding 3 very short live demos that you witness with less than 20 lines of code for each of those examples. We could gain I think quite interesting results.
Thank you, Pavel. And you know what? I felt like having an apple pie or cheesecake. And you know, while you were presenting, I asked ChatGPT, why can't you bake an apple pie? Because that's the thing not do, at least still, right? Because I'm all code and no oven. It said to me. Thanks so much, Pavel. Very interesting demos. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both. And like you, Greg, you know, it's kind of lunchtime, isn't it? And for some inexplicable reason, I am now thinking about apple pie with the ice cream together. So yeah, but thank you both for an incredible presentation that, you know, not only kind of talked us through how versatile and how Python is literally anywhere and everywhere, and but how in just a few lines of code you can achieve so much. So I think that was really motivational. Thank you. And I'd like to use kind of the minutes that we've got left to go to the Q&A, if that's all right. And I know when you were looking at that kind of 3D landscape piece there, one of our viewers was asking Pavel if Python can be used to graph functions.
Yeah, definitely. Even graphs are easier to create than those 3D dimensional figures.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you. There's a question in here about, what are the most common entry-level jobs that require Python skills? And I guess the answer to that is probably quite a lot of different roles. What would you both say on that?
Python can be useful in any kind of job, literally. And but if I were to name like 3 of them, so I would definitely say data science or data analysis, which is or data analytics as such. Most probably in finance. So, or basically all the kind of jobs where you require perform some calculations, some where you work with spreadsheets, where you work with data, and NLP. This is like as you can see, Pavel showed an example of how you can actually use Python to work with ChatGPT. But if I were to name like the third one, maybe this is not an obvious choice, but maybe not very popular in Europe, but they use a lot of web development frameworks. I mean, like Django or Flask, that's Python based. So I would say that with a little bit of HTML, CSS, and Python, you can start creating, building websites.
Yeah, and I guess, maybe Python isn't the language that necessarily comes to mind when we think about front-end programming, but as you say, some of those things like Django, etc., being Python based, perhaps, yeah. So it's really versatile, isn't it? And certainly, when we've run programs working with you in the past, we've seen people coming in showing interest, whether they're accountants or engineers or scientists, as we talked about. So it's kind of has this usage, as you say, way beyond tech
Yes.
roles, which I think is fabulous.
Yes, and it's
And certainly
versatile, I would say, because the community makes it like that, right? Because if there's a need to use Python for something, they just create a module, they create a library, and it's open source. You can use it anytime, any place you want. So it's versatile because of its community, the strength of the community. I'm
and I
sorry,
guess
Jane, I jumped in.
No, that was perfect, because I was just going to say that strength of that community. And of course, there is that boilerplate code that kind of Pavel and yourself have both talked about. But it's really good if you could perhaps take some of that and then amend it and add to it yourself. And I guess that's why learning these skills and developing that ability to code is still really important, even though we're now increasingly living in an environment where you can grab boilerplate strings, and you can pull on low and no code solutions. Is my understanding correct, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely correct.
Cool.
When I said community, I also immediately thought about this song by this FC Liverpool anthem.
You'll
Maybe I
never
shouldn't
walk
say that.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the community is about. So even though maybe I shouldn't say that publicly, I'm more like a Manchester United fan, but I oh and Manchester City, and I really love FC Liverpool as well, and all the UK teams out there. But I really like the song, and this song is all about the community.
It is. It is. That's a really good way of thinking about it. So we got a couple of other questions. So I think this might be one for you, Pavel, because I think, again, it relates to some of the demos that you did for us. What platform were you using to run the Python codes, please?
I used PyCharm by JetBrains, but it is a paid IDE. But if you use Visual Studio Code from Microsoft, it works really well, and I don't find it as a tougher, harder to develop code with you using Visual Studio Code. So that was just a choice of mine to use this tool, but use any of those. Those are most popular, most actively developed.
Thank you. That's answers that really well. Thank you. So we've got a couple more questions. We've just got a couple more minutes left of time here, and these relate to job hunting, I guess. So I've got a couple, so I'll ask both of them at the same time, because one of our viewers is asking about whether employers prefer certification or is a portfolio more important. And then we've got another question here, can you get a job with these courses, or a boot camp without a degree? So in other words, can you get into programming without having, that full degree qualification? So what would be your perspectives on those?
Yeah, I would say that, of course, because I mean, of course, you don't need any formal education. Of course, you don't need certifications, because at the end of the day, these are your skills, and what you can do matters, basically. And formal education and certifications can back that up, and that's one thing. And the other thing, they can help you get to the interview. They will help screen you from among all the candidates that are applying for the same position as you are. So I will say that a little bit of this and a little bit of that is always helpful. But just like I said, at the end of the day, these are your skills. And even if you have certification, but there's for some reason, I don't know what the reason might be, but if there's no skills behind the certification, this will come out. And so a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Pavel, you raised your hand.
Yes, as we mentioned today, study and practice. So I think this is what Grzegorz said, but rephrased with different words.
Yes, indeed. It is about, and I think increasingly employers are looking at aptitudes and passion as much as they are about prior experience and skills. But I think when you are applying specifically for coding jobs, quite often, they will conduct a coding interview. So there are certain, it depends on the level of job, of course, that you're applying for, but they will want to be able to see what you can do. And I think that's why we were so keen in this program. And I don't know if everybody's seen it yet, but we do have some labs available. So after you've done the PSET course and hopefully potentially, thought about that certification route, which we will send details of very shortly, there are also some AI themed labs. There are 4 of them, which will enable you to use your Python skills. So do go onto the platform and, take a look at those if you want to, work through some really good practical examples that you could then talk about in the interview. And we also have some virtual work experiences available to you all in the software development sphere as well. Details of that went out in last week's newsletter. So that we'll repeat that as well. And I think there we go, as if by magic, it's appeared in the chat. So, you can get involved with that as well. But here we are at the top of the hour. And thank you, everybody, for spending your lunch hour with us today. And I'm really grateful to you, Pavel and Greg, for joining us and sharing all of your experience and wisdom with us today. Thank you very much. All that leaves me to do is to say thank you once again, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye from us. Thank you.